Hello there YouTube, it's me again, I'm back. Today's going to be another fixing type video, but it's not going to be a specific like how to or whatever, because I don't exactly know how to do this. This is the first time I've ever had to do this, so I'm going to crack on. We'll bring you along and it'll be like a couple of days in the life of Clark's Auto Care, I suppose. We've got a Vauxhall Vivaro, belongs to my good mate. He's currently lost second gear, so we're assuming it needs a gearbox. If we're putting a gearbox in, it's going to need a clutch. So we're going to put a clutch and gearbox in, it would seem. He's got a massive leak, which I'm assuming is coming from a turbo drain or feed pipe. But again, I do not know. I don't know these vans very well neither, mechanically. I mean, you've seen me do work on this van. It's fairly simple, the basics of it. But I don't know the exact ins and outs of... I know the entire front end has to come off to get the gearbox out, which is going to be loads of fun. So there'll probably be loads of information, stuff for you to look at, maybe bits where I get stuck, maybe somewhere where I can give you some pointers or whatever. I don't know. We'll just have to see how it goes. So this is a 2005 Vauxhall Vivaro with a 1.9 turbo diesel. I think it's a Renault engine, if I'm honest. Yeah, I'm fairly confident this one's a Renault engine with a 5-speed gearbox, and as I say, it has not got second gear anymore. So yeah, we're going to see what we can do, preferably without him spending a small fortune on parts. Obviously a gearbox and a clutch is going to be expensive-ish, but you'll have to mind me wobbly hands. I've not got a decent phone mount at the minute, so you'll just have to bear with it. I'm going to do school run and stuff, and then we'll get cracked on and I'll bring you back. Right, I'm useless. I forgot to get the camera out. So I was starting to jack it up to get it in a position where I'll be able to get an axle stand under it good, so I can slide under it in a bit to do something else as well. Excuse me. But that's not working out too well on this little jack. We'll worry about that in a minute. Right. Now, I've already made a start here, as you can see. I pulled the grill off, I pulled the headlights out, I pulled the little side lights or indicators, whatever they are, out of the bumper here. They were easy, they're just like a spring clip, and the other side light pops in, it's easy. Headlights was a couple of 10mm bolts, and then undo the plugs, obviously. Same on the other headlight on the other side. All this spaghetti here, that's to his, yeah, I didn't fit that, so we'll say nothing. Yeah, we'll just say nothing. Right, so I took a couple of bolts out of the bumper support here. The first thing I want to try and do is I want to try and get this bumper off. Now it seems to be like he's welded the bumper itself to the bumper support, so I'm not sure if that means I've got to take all that off from in here, or so I'm gonna have to figure that as I go, and I haven't even looked underneath it yet. I need to get my little comfy mat out and obviously get it secure before I lay underneath it, and see what's going on there. Yeah, after that there's a couple of Torx heads here. There should be some more, I think, but he's missing them. It's got one here. He's got about 17 self-tappers in replace of whatever's supposed to go, so I haven't even looked on the other side, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But we'll crack on and see where we get with it. I'll bring you back hopefully with the bumper off and some more information on how I did it. Okay, so there's always one, usually more. I think that was a T45, can't remember, T40. Torx bit, and it just chewed right up, won't undo. So I tried smashing all sorts of things into it. I've tried winding in a set of easy outs. Yeah, I've never had success with them. And now I'm gonna have to figure out some way of destroying it so I can get this side of the bumper off. I'm probably gonna go and see what's the biggest metal drill bit I've got, and just try and drill the centre out a bit, because it's quite well centered anyway. If I can just get that out and then I'll be able to get the rest of it off with a bit of mole grips or something. Once the bump's off and out of the way, we'll figure that out as it comes to it. So yeah, I'm gonna go get something to do that, and then I'll bring you back when I've done that. I'll tell you how I did it. Okay, so I drilled that fastener out on that driver's side, bang the head off. That'll have to get pulled out in a minute. Now I need to figure out how to get this iron off to get me underneath it safely and securely. So I'm going to let it down off the jack again and reposition stuff and see if I can get it a bit higher to get axle stand under there nice, and it's a good old heavy duty axle stand, well rated for a van. It's not a little crap thing for a car, so unlike the jack. Yeah, then I'm going to crack on getting the rest of the bumper off. Going to get all the self-tapping screws out of this side. Then there's 2 bolts underneath the front bumper for this stupid bull bar thing. Yeah, then I'll see how it comes off. I think the bumper then pulls off and the crash bars behind it bolted to the main chassis. But like some genius, somebody's welded this bar to the crash bar through the bumper, and then they've also welded up the bolts so you can't undo them again. Genius. So I'm going to get this up in the air, and then I'll bring you back probably when I'm underneath there to show you these 2 bottom bolts in case you've got a bull bar too. Cool. Right, apologies if I'm all over the place and what have you, but 13mm bolts, 1, and I can see that 1, 2, there's up here somewhere, there, 2, and that should be the bottom of this undone. But as you see, it's supposed to be removable, but I don't know if it will unbolt off that bracket. No, sorry, my finger. Yes, they have welded it to that bracket, so unless I cut it, and I'm not going to get a grinder in there very well. Yeah, so I'll have to pull the entire crash bumper thing off at the same time, which is going to be loads of fun. I didn't look underneath it to see whether there's anything securing the bumper at the bottom. Can't see there's anything. There doesn't appear to be. Sound. Alright, so I'll get to where I get this bumper off and then we'll see where we're at. Okay, so after looking at the job, I thought I don't fancy trying to tackle getting that bar off without getting the bumper off first. I think it's just going to be easier. I might not even have to take it out at all, I don't know yet, we'll see. But I attacked the bolts here. This one, well, luckily they hadn't wrecked it, but they have, I'll show you why in a minute. And this one was slightly welded on, and that side did slightly break off as I tried to get it apart, but it'll weld back together nicely and should clamp up nice, so it'll be sweet. But can anybody guess what they made the bloody mounts out of? That's some bodgery if ever I've seen it. They're not even good quality spanners. So, yeah, I'd understand if they were like decent spanners and it's like, oh yeah, well at least they're strong. That's some crap. But I'll say nothing. Bull bars on the ground. I'm gonna go chuck it in the van. I'm gonna see about getting this bumper off, and then I'll probably bring you back again because then we're looking into getting this piece out, all the intercooler, the rad and all that crap, and yeah, so it's going to get messy. So oh yeah, forgot to tell you, might want to get a tub to put all your bits and bobs in when you take stuff off, or you can put them back into the thing you took them off if you're very forgetful and you're not going to remember where stuff went. I should be all right. Well, with all the struggle with that bolt on that side and this stupid bull bar thing that was on it, the bumper literally fell off. I went around, yanked to see if it was clear, undone his self-tappers he had in his wheel arch there, fell off. Can't say fairer than that. You can get a look at the older, yeah, nice bodgery there. This side's even worse. How could it be worse? But Oh my god. Yeah, never mind. So we need to get deeper in there still. So we're going to take this brace out of the middle here, I'm assuming. Gonna have to do something with the bonnet catch. I don't know what we do about that. We'll figure that out as we come to it. I can see some bolts up round by the lights, or where the lights used to be. To hold this front section in. Maybe a couple there. Yeah. The intercooler you see is mounted on the back of that, so that'll be a bridge we'll cross as we come to it. And then we've got the rad and stuff at the bottom. It's going to be fun. But at least now we can get to these easier. I can get at them probably with my Chinese windy gun. There you go. Which is actually really good for the money. Yeah, we should be able to get that off. If not, be a big breaker bar on them because they look hefty. I'm not going to bother messing around with no Torx drive in them or spline drive, whatever that is. I'm going to go spanner and socket jobby. So don't know what size they are yet. I'll let you know when I get it off. So first things first, I'm going to remove this piece and then attempt to remove this piece. Then I'll bring you back. Okay, right, so we're getting somewhere. Sorry about the wobbliness. All this is slowly coming off. Just show you a few pointers. These was easy with me windy gun. Unscrewed that. That's all loose here now, so we can put that out of the way when this comes off. Nice and simple. I've undone the intercooler pipes, 1 and 2, and the intercooler is actually bolted to this piece here. Now you can remove that if you wish, but I think it may be easier if I leave that in place. I think there's 2 10mm bolts here, which I think hold the radiator in place. So the next step I think is going to be to drain the fluids from this bitch and then see where we go from there. Oh yeah, don't forget to undo the horn. The horn lives down here. That also holds this in place. Yeah, so don't forget your horn. Yeah, fluid drain. Lovely. When emptying the coolant, if it's got coolant in it, always put it in some sort of like container and dispose of it correctly. So then if you've got your cats out in the area, they're not going to try and drink it and it's really bad for them. You don't want that to happen. And also don't wind up covered in it like I did. I was so prepared to not make a mess and I made a right mess. So I'm going to have to get the pressure washer out and clean up the mess I've made as well when I'm done. But yeah, bucket up your stuff, put a lid on it. Most of the time you can take it to your local tip and they'll take it away for you. Right, so we drain coolant into a bucket and then the rad literally lifts out once you've undone the foam wiring, and you chuck it somewhere out of the way carefully so you don't destroy it. Right, the reason this is all foamy like this, I've just sprayed gun coil over it because it is covered and I can't even tell what gearbox this is to make sure we can get another one from the scrapyard. I've started undoing the mount for the gear selectors because I want to take that off as one thing. See the cables and the mount as one thing. I don't want to mess around with these clips. This selector is literally got a push-in thing and it pops off. That's easy. And this one you gently pry up with a screwdriver and it pops off. Lovely jubbly. We've got a little silly connector here that I've just been cleaning up because I couldn't see how it works. Should be able to do that one now. We've got some sort of sensor down here that looks like it's going to want unbolting is probably the best thing to do in case I don't get one on the new gearbox. This looks like a slave cylinder for the clutch. Well, the pipe worked to it anyway. Oh, we've already got one slightly not done up properly bolt on this barn housing. Maybe it's had problems before. An indication of maybe some possible work, previous work. There appears to be a power steering line or something bolted to it this side. That needs to be undone. There's an earth strap that connects it to the body. Then we need to get a jack under here. I'm going to use a bit of scaffold board to not split the sump rope and to spread the weight out nicely. And we don't want to jack it up. We just want to jack it up enough to be holding the weight of it for when we start messing around undoing this gearbox mount, which we'll worry about when we get to it. So I'm going to finish cleaning this up and see where I'm at, and then I'll bring you lot back once I've got all of these bits and bobs cleaned, disconnected, and well, yeah, we should be ready to do starter and bell housing at that point. Okay, so we didn't get much further because of bad weather and that, so we've been rained off, shall we say. So we're going to call this part 1 in part 2 or more series. We're not sure what Scottish Georgia Door's going to be. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, all that. I'm going to crack on with some more tomorrow, and we'll bring you part 2 then. Probably going to get on, try and edit this now and get it uploaded for you. Yeah, till next time. Cheers.